Hello and welcome to Sport This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
And I am Tayo Salam. Starting off the show on on a perfect note.
On a perfect note, yes. 100% record for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Austin Ogovoin becoming the first Nigerian coach to win all group games in two AFCON tournaments that he was in charge of. First it was in 2006, and of course in Egypt, and now in Cameroon in 2022 with AFCON 2021.
All right, take a bow wherever you are. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, 3 out of 3 in Group D to advance into the round of 16. Also on the show, still talking football. And there was an incredible game of football yesterday between Leicester City and Tottenham. And it was that guy, Steven Bergwijn, stunning Leicester with 2 stoppage time goals.
Leicester capitulates again.
Yes.
Not the first time they're doing that. Also on the program, Alice Conner is staying perfect, living the moment in Australian Open simply because she took out WTA Finals champion Gabin Muguruza 6-3, 6-3.
That's the end of the road for the number 3 seed Gabin Muguruza right there in the second round of the Australian Open. We have details of these and more later on the show. But before that, it's all about the Africa Cup of Nations.
Welcome back.
Yes.
All right. Now, before we get into the AFCON segments, let us bring you guys to all that we'll be doing this morning. Super Eagles of Nigeria staying perfect at the group stage. What do you think will happen in the later round? Can the Super Eagles go ahead to win it? Because right now, they're becoming the favorites at the tournament.
Yeah, you have to say Nigeria, certainly the most impressive country we've seen through the group stage. So far, perhaps I will see what Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire will do later today. But as it seems right now, Nigeria is the most impressive team we've seen. And you can be a part of the show.
Of course.
Let us know what you think about your Super Eagles of Nigeria, how they're performing, and what's your ultimate target for them. You can send your mail to sportthismorning@channelstv.com. You can also reach us on Twitter, channels_sports, and we'll be taking your messages before the show is over.
All right. Now, let's take a look at the result, confirmation of the results from Group D.
Yes.
At the end of the day, Group D happens to be the only group that the other teams don't have to wait till the final moment. They don't have to wait because the other two teams, they're just out, 1 point each. And, of course, Nigeria, 2-0 against Guinea-Bissau. Yeah. And Sadiq Umar scoring his first goal for the country. And, of course, Captain Fantastic of the day, William Troost Ekong, ensure that, well, Guinea-Bissau will not get anything out of the game. So, unwanted records coming from Guinea-Bissau, becoming the 6th team in the history of the Africa Cup of Nations to enter a tournament and not scoring any goal. Not only that, I think for the 7th consecutive time.
The way it continues
for them.
Score a goal,
I think they are the only team that have never.
It's a bad record.
That 7 times have not been able to score a goal at all.
Yeah, so that's the end of the road for Guinea-Bissau. While for Sudan and Egypt, Egypt got the win they needed to advance into the round of 16. 1-0, that's how it ended. And the Pharaohs are also through to the knockout stage, the first knockout stage of the competition. So that's it. We're going to focus straight away on Nigeria's showing against Guinea-Bissau. We're not going to be doing that alone. That's because we've got an analyst with us, Bada Akitsune Johnson.
It's Thursday morning, so you expect him to be here.
It's only right. Bada Akitsune Johnson is ready to join us, and he's going to be helping us analyze and dissect how the Super Eagles of Nigeria got the job done over Guinea-Bissau yesterday. Cecilia, 8 changes. Didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be. I thought it were going to be changes, but I didn't think it was going to be 8. 8 is a lot to make.
And it worked well. But at the beginning, they weren't clicking, but somehow they got into the game. So Bada is ready to join us this morning. Bada, what do you make of the 8 changes that Eguava made? It was a really bold call, so to speak.
Well, I thought they were expected. I thought those changes were necessary also to keep the freshness in the team. Yeah, 8 changes. We were through. Our position was guaranteed. It didn't matter what happened last night. Nigeria was going to finish first anyways. Remember, at this competition, the head-to-head rule actually applies, and having beaten Egypt, even if they had finished on the same number of points as the Super Eagles, Nigeria will still have topped the group. And you're looking forward to a round of 16 game on Sunday in the heat, in the very difficult conditions the team has been playing in Cameroon. You don't want to overexert anyone or risk injuries to key players. And for a manager who's only had this team to work with for just about 2 to 3 weeks, they hadn't exactly seen the likes of Peter Olayinka and the other players that he brought in, Tyrone Ebuehi, in a proper match situation. Right. So playing them, Jamilu Collins and co, was an opportunity to be able to assess them outside of training to see what their appetite and mental, state for big games was. And I thought that game must have presented him an opportunity to make up his mind about some of these players who has, something to offer the team going forward, who doesn't, who he can call on, because you always need depth. You always need the squad, to win tournaments. You're going to have injuries to key players, and, you suddenly have to call on someone from the bench who probably hasn't participated. And sometimes they may not have that match sharpness if you haven't given them the practice. So I thought yesterday was a fantastic practice in a real match scenario for most of those, call them reserve players or fringe players. We saw Iwobi play out on the right side. Now we know it might not work because he couldn't get past his markers, he couldn't cross the ball until we ran the changes and Oyekuru came in. We didn't really get much purchase on that right side. We saw Umar struggle, Sadiq Umar struggle in attack. That guy cannot lead the line. He doesn't have the pace or the energy. At best, it's a striker. In central midfield, we saw Kelechi Nwakali almost fail to take his chance as a creative force because he was playing too close to Ndidi when he was supposed to be, driving the team forward. Ejuke struggled on the left side. I think he always plays better on the right side where he can cut in and have the entire width of the pitch to himself to work with. And there were, key learnings. Tyrone Ebuehi isn't match fit. He can't go up and down in the way that Olaino does. So, we know that Ola must start the big games except for injury or suspension. Zaidu looked better over the 2 games than Jamilu Collins looked yesterday, even though he didn't have a bad game. And Ndidi remains maybe Nigeria's most important player, even though he doesn't get all the headlines written about him. Yes, Moses Simon has been fantastic, but Ndidi is that guy who ensures that we don't get overexposed when we turn over possession because he nicks the ball away before the opposition is able to build anything meaningful. Yes. So there were loads of learning from yesterday's game. Yes, we won. Yes, we finished on maximum points. But I think that the Guava would have had a full notepad just based off things that he saw in over 90 minutes yesterday.
Yeah, okay, Bada. So we're going to get to listen to the thoughts of Augustine Egwanvoin on that game. When we come back, I'm going to be asking you about what has impressed you the most about the Super Eagles over these 3 games. Let's take a listen now to the post-game thoughts of Augustine Egwanvoin.
We're going to know our opponents, we're going to tactics, because we have to know our opponents first. We're going to tactics and how we want to play. And then to finish up this section, we're going to penalty shootouts. We have to prepare for penalties as well, because anything can happen. Yeah, it gives us a lot of motivation. If you have people behind you, which means cheering for you to go, why not? I mean, and we don't want to disappoint them because from day one we've been very, very, we've been feeling at home. So we try. When we see people behind us, it gives a lot of motivation.
As Augustine Egwanvoin, obviously delighted that the Super Eagles of Nigeria have been able to impress the fans both in Nigeria as well as in Cameroon as they head into the round of 16 at the Africa Cup of Nations. But back to you. I was talking about what has impressed you the most about this team. I haven't seen them over 3 games.
Mentality, the willingness to play on the front foot under Gernot Rohr, especially in the final games of the qualifiers against Cape Verde and Central African Republic. I thought the team was playing within itself. There was not a lot of progressive passes. There was not a lot of solid quality movement off the ball, creating options for the man on the ball. And moving the ball, into the final third with a definite idea of exactly what to do. And we've seen all of those and more aplenty in this competition. The way the Eagles attack with a lot of energy down the flanks, the off-the-ball runs. Like in the first goal yesterday, you saw Kelechi Iheanacho peel off his marker to create the chance to receive the ball. And once he received the ball, he lifted his head and saw Sadiq Umar at the far post and just basically with the outside of the foot flicked the ball, to find him for the first goal. So those are what makes great teams. Those are the things that define, great attacking teams. And yesterday, the Super Eagles showed yet again, even though the team was much changed, that there's a lot that has changed about the group from under General Rowe. And the credit must go to Austin Eguavoin for just, taking the shackles off and allowing this team the freedom to express themselves on the pitch, to show the undoubted talent and quality that they've always had. I think sometimes when coaches over-instruct teams, they can, sort of make them play below their potential. And that's what we saw under General Rowe. It's the same team, essentially, same people, but a different mindset. So if a single thing that has impressed me the most, it definitely is the change in mindset.
Interesting. Changing mindsets, I think we can all see that as well. Let's go back to more post-game reaction. Now this time we're going to be listening to some of the players that played yesterday. Some of them made their debuts and they've been reacting to Nigeria's win over Guinea-Bissau.
We are playing it step by step. We are taking the game step by step, and now we are in the knockout stage. Then we need to take it more serious right now.
Actually, I don't think we have a pressure. We are a group that believe in ourselves, and I believe there is no pressure. We just need to take things step by step. Actually, we don't have any favorite team. We just believe anything that comes our way, we just do our best to win.
Yeah, we said before the game, this is when the tournament starts now. So, very good. I think we have to focus on our own game. I think every game we're improving. And today as well, there were some things we could do better. So we're just going to focus on ourselves and take each game by game and try and improve.
Game by game. That's what it is, Cecilia.
Yeah, obviously.
3 down, how many more to go?
4 more.
I don't know.
4 more to bring the trophy. All right, Bada, what do you want to see in the knockout phase for the Super Eagles of Nigeria? Let's just wrap this up.
I want to see a settled first 11 now. Now we know the resources at our disposal and we know what each player offers. I think having missed out on Osimhen and Emmanuel Denise, our best attacking option for this team is Taiwo Awoniyi. Like I said, Sadiq Umar can't lead the line. So get Awoniyi back and get him the supplies that he needs to thrive. Get the confidence in him to actually go and destroy teams. Moses Simon is our best player without a doubt. With the ball to feet, he strikes the fear of God into the opposition. So that left side of midfield becomes our most potent attacking outlet. So, use it more frequently. The other side of it, get Ejuke to play a game there for you. See if it's an improvement on Chukwueze, who for me has been underwhelming, even though he scored a goal. But between Ejuke and Chukwueze, we have 2 solid options that side. Behind the 2 of them, Zaidu Sanusi and Olaino either side. Central midfield, I think, picks itself. Joe Aribo has to play alongside Ndidi there. Nwakali, an option off the bench if we need him. And of course, Iheanacho has to play off the man leading the attack. Yeah, and I think that in central defense, we can all agree that Omeruo and the skipper, Cruz Ekong, are our best options, even though I think that Shemi Logo Ajayi also had a fantastic game yesterday. He was solid, he was assured. He brought the ball out of defense very competently and confidently. So I think we now know what our team should look like. So there should be no disruptions to the rhythm of the team anymore going forward, except where there is an injury, God forbid, or there's a suspension, God forbid. But I want to see a settled team, a team that plays with the same kind of belief, same kind of energy. I think what analysts and pundits have been most, should I say, impressed about Nigeria is the energy with which the team plays, and how we press and win the ball back when we lose it, and when we have it, I will move it around very quickly, find the wingers, get into the key areas, and create chances. Even yesterday, with the changes that Egbavon made in the first half, we should have been up when Umar decided to dribble past the goalkeeper when he should have taken an instant finish. And we had one or two other decent opportunities and never really looked like conceding. More importantly for me, except for a long shot. Yeah, Uzo, should have parried sideways, he put back, and Shemilogo Ajayi closed charged down the shot before it was taken. So I think, aside the dubious penalty that Sudan was awarded, Nigeria would have, gone 3 games without conceding a goal. So that defensive solidity, that sort of solidarity in chasing down the ball and closing people down and winning the ball back, and getting numbers into critical areas in the attacking third, keep all of those going into the round of 16, into the round of 8. And the more matches you win, the more confidence you get. And the more realistic our chances for winning our 4th AFCON begin to look. So this team looks good, but the job is not done. Like you said, it's 3 down, 4 to go. And those 4 are very critical. The next 2 games, if you make mistakes, you are out of the competition. So we must absolutely, shut out the mistakes, concentrate for 90 minutes plus, play our best game, and win. Take our chances, win.
All right, that's what is important. Win, and that's what Algeria needs to do tonight when they will be up against Cote d'Ivoire. If you look at Group E right now, the fixtures for today, Algeria are bottom of that group, defending champion. No one expected that. 2 points from how many games? So it's looking like Algeria might just be another team that will be going home if they fail to beat Cote d'Ivoire tonight.
They're on 1 point.
On 1 point, yeah, from 2 games. 1 point from 2 games. Only 1 goal scored. All right. Algeria, what do you think? Can they make it to the round of 16? They've got the players to do that.
Well, unfortunately, they blew their chances on paper, what should have been the easiest games of the group, the 2 games against Sierra Leone and Equatorial Guinea. Yeah. I thought they didn't deserve the 3 points against Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea should have drawn that game. They had a clear shout for a penalty, or had a legitimate penalty claim that wasn't given. But they won 3 points. I'm talking Cote d'Ivoire now. But Algeria struggled against Sierra Leone in the heat in the first game. We thought the second kickoff at night was going to be better, but Equatorial Guinea, which has to be my second favorite team in this tournament, after Nigeria, actually just took them to the cleaners. The Equatorial Guinean team is very organized and very competent going forward. They've got legs in there. They defend as a group. They frustrate you. And that's what they did to Algeria. Now Algeria must beat Cote d'Ivoire, who themselves are not guaranteed a place in the next round to have any chance whatsoever to progress. So all the teams in this group are still very much alive with a chance to qualify. Even Sierra Leone, they've got 2 draws, I think. If they win, beat Equatorial Guinea, they go on 5 points and they qualify. So these are 2 games with a look of 2 finals about them. Cote d'Ivoire, Algeria, winner takes all. Can Algeria win? Obviously, yes, on their day, they should be able to beat Cote d'Ivoire. But we haven't seen that Algeria that can beat Cote d'Ivoire in this competition. They haven't been themselves. Going forward, they've been wasteful. They've been very, very wasteful, even when they've created chances. And, I expect that they will beat Cote d'Ivoire, but they've got to play their best game, and we haven't seen that yet.
All right, we need to go on a very short break, but when we come back, we'll listen to Riyad Mahrez, what they intend to do to make it into the knockout phase.
We're gonna go through, and then we're gonna make the best game to win the game. That's the most important things. To tell you we're gonna win or we're gonna lose, I don't know. But to tell you that we're gonna give everything, and to make sure in every aspect that we're gonna try to win the game, that will be for sure. So I'm very optimistic about the game, and I hope we're gonna stay longer in Cameroon.
All right, they want to stay longer in Cameroon, of course. They want to do everything possible to beat Côte d'Ivoire tonight. Atayo, we still got other teams in that particular group?
Yeah, that's the only way they can stay in Cameroon longer. Beat Côte d'Ivoire.
Just Côte d'Ivoire.
It's as straightforward as that. All right, in the same group, we have Sierra Leone taking on Equatorial Guinea. And I know Bada has talked about how
Sierra Leone,
Equatorial Guinea is one of his favorites after Nigeria. I want to believe he's got a lot of time for Sierra Leone as well, too, because they have been very impressive in this competition. We're going to take a listen to the coach, John Kester. He's been talking about their performance so far in this competition. When we'll come back, we'll be getting the thoughts of Bada on this amazing or incredible Sierra Leone side that we've seen so far.
In terms of the organization, we're getting better as a country. Hopefully, it's like I said, we're introducing Sierra Leone to African football after 25 years. And hopefully, this is going to be the benchmark for us going back into Sierra Leone and start the proper development processes and get ourselves organized as a nation in terms of going forward. And I do believe that we've already done Sierra Leone proud in the world. You know, whatever happens in the last match happens. But that would have been, I'm very pleased that I have made my own contributions, because this is one of the things I've always said. You know, you cannot always come and change everything. It takes time. But go in and make your own positive contributions. And if that means you're out after that, and then you're out. But you would have gone out, you know, with your head high up.
Tough, really tough. I think with the heat as well, I think people underestimate just how hot it is here and the humidity. I mean, I've spent the last 3 years in Turkey, but it doesn't quite compare to how hot it is here. So it's difficult conditions to play in. I think we've come up against two really good opponents in Algeria and Ivory Coast, but I loved what we've done. You know, we've just got such a spirit here. We know we haven't got the best names on paper. We know technically or tactically we may not be the best of the best, but we've got a spirit that for me, in 13 years of football, I've not experienced before. Sitting there in the summer, I received an Instagram message from Carlton Cole asking if I would be interested and that he could put me in touch. So I then spoke with the coach and the president, and yeah, they sold me the dream. They said all of what Sierra Leone is about, what we're hoping to achieve over the next few years, and I wanted to be a part of it. So I'm sat here today. We've had 2 good results so far. And I'm really glad I made the choice. Life has a funny way of making things happen. I'm working hard. I'm clean and sober today, and I'm hoping one day I will return to the Premier League to sort of complete the full circle.
As a former England international, now plays for Sierra Leone. Bada, I'm sure you're very familiar with Stephen Colker, and he's been very instrumental to their decent performances so far. In Cameroon, that's for Sierra Leone. Also, this particular team has got 7 British-born players. So you can see there's a bit of quality about them, and that's why they still got a chance to go into the round of 16 if they can win the game tonight.
I think alongside Mohamed Kamara, the goalkeeper, he's been their best player. He's organized the defense. He's provided some leadership in at the back line and sort of produced some impressive blocks, last-ditch tackles to prevent what we thought were sure goals against Algeria and in the last game against Côte d'Ivoire. Yes, there's the impact of the British-born players, but you also must give credit to the local players. The guy who scored the first goal against Côte d'Ivoire is local-based. He was, he just burst into tears as soon as he scored that goal. The goalkeeper as well was man of the match in the first game, saved the penalty in the 2 games, actually. So you can argue that maybe based on the fact that he saved 2 penalties from during regulation time, he's probably made the most contribution to the Sierra Leonean cause. But as a unit, that's why and how they thrive, because they come together, they defend very stoutly, they're very organized, they're very disciplined, they give very little away, and then they wait for their chances. And fortune does smile on the diligent and the dedicated, as we saw against Côte d'Ivoire, where it looked like they were down and out, and the goalkeeper's error presented them that last-minute chance, which Stephen Walker himself squared for the player to knock into the net. So Sierra Leone, Equatorial Guinea have done themselves incredibly proud in this competition. And whatever happens from here, the 2 teams can go away knowing that They put on a show, and they showed that there are no longer minnows in African football. And it would be nice to see at least one of these two teams continue in the competition. So it's whoever delivers on the day, whoever takes the 3 points from this game that continues to play in the competition.
But I think you've summed it up perfectly. 2 finals today in this group, Cote d'Ivoire, Algeria, as well as Sierra Leone versus Equatorial Guinea. Made the better sides, or the best sides made a win and continue in the competition. So that's it for our coverage of the AFCON. When we come back, it's going to be all about the EPL, but are still with us, of course. Welcome back to Channel Sport this morning. We're still talking football. Of course, you can always join us again tomorrow for the AFCON segment. Still talking football. Let's go to England now and tell you about the incredible match that went down at the King Power Stadium yesterday between Leicester City and Tottenham Hotspur. And Cecilia, what a game that was. Tottenham looked dead and buried for a long time. As a matter of fact, as at the 94th minute, they were down 2-1. And you blink once, and it was 3-2, thanks to Steven Bergwijn.
I didn't know the final scoreline.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking it ended 2-1.
3-2, that's how it ended. 3-2, in case you went to the kitchen, or in case you thought the game was over, that's why.
Sleep.
Exactly, and that's why we always say it's never over until it's over, until the final whistle. Exactly. Steven Bergwijn stepped up big time. Leicester, once again, capitulating, like you said at the start of the show. And they'll be kicking themselves this morning, but I'm sure you followed that game. How have they lost that game? Leicester City.
History books as the game with the latest sort of comeback in the Premier League, even later, and it's a later turnaround than Man City achieved against QPR when Aguero scored that winner that won the Premier League a few years ago. Because at the 94th minute, Tottenham were still trailing 2-1 against Leicester. And not only did they score a goal to tie, they scored another one to win it. And those goals were barely 90 seconds apart. Once Leicester restarted the game, I thought it was Yuri Tillemans who lost the ball.
What was he thinking about?
Possession was turned over. Harry Kane was there to sleep Steven Bergwijn through in behind, and he rounded with Kasper Schmeichel, and scored. But you've got to say that the mentality of this Spurs team means that they can do that sort of thing to any team these days. Since Antonio Conte came in, he has molded them into a relentless counter-attacking team with the pace people like Lucas Moura, Son, who's now injured, Steven Bergwijn, who's coming for him, and of course the creativity that Harry Kane and the ruthless finishing that he can bring to the team. So yesterday, Leicester paid the price for not being switched on for the entire duration of the game. Maybe they thought after 90 minutes they had it wrapped, and they were still, reckless in how they were going forward. I thought at 2-1, they should have, seen the game out. They should have just professionally managed the game and seen it out. Unfortunately, they left themselves too open, and Conte's team punished them. The incentive was massive for Conte's team. Now they go fifth above Arsenal, with massive games on almost everyone else. They have 1 game on Arsenal, 4 on Chelsea, 3 on West Ham. If they win those games, of course, it's a big probability. They can go as high as 3rd, actually, above Chelsea. So Conte has executed a massive shift in mindset and attitude, application. All of those things have changed about Spurs, and now they should have their eyes on, at the minimum, finishing in the top 4. And on the back of such remarkable recoveries, turnarounds as they witnessed last night, who says they can't?
Who says they can? Still unbeaten under Antonio Conte in the Premier League. 9 games, 6 wins, 3 draws. And talking about their direct rival for the top four spots, or for a top four spots, they take on Chelsea again this weekend. It's going to be on Sunday. Of course, last time they met, Chelsea prevailed. That was in the Carabao Cup semi-final. So we'll see how that one pans out. Still talking on the Premier League. Let's go quickly to what went down at the Brentford Community Stadium between Brentford and Manchester United. Once again, United were dire in the first half. Needed David De Gea to keep them in the game. Second half was a totally different ball game. United stepped up and they got the goals that required to get all 3 points. Elanga, Greenwood, as well as Marcus Rashford on target.
Well, listening to Brentford's manager post-game, he said they absolutely destroyed United in the first half. And it was right.
Yeah.
If they had better finishers in the final third, they would have been 2 up at the minimum before United started playing in the second half. And when I say United started playing, they weren't dominating the game. They were just quicker moving the ball forward in transition moments and being able to, apply the decisive touch. The youngster, Elanga first, and then I think it was Rashford, and then I can't remember who scored the second goal now. All of them goals scored on the breakaway. United didn't exactly play well. Don't let the scoreline deceive you. Their goalkeeper was still their best player on the day, made all manner of saves, and now is the goalkeeper who has made the highest number of saves in the entire league. And that tells you,
11 more.
how much, how open United have been, how on the back foot they've been, and how without a world-class goalkeeper like David De Gea, how bad things could have been. So I think that result merely papers over the cracks for United. The fundamental problems are still there. They're still not dominating games. They are still not imposing themselves. They still look very fragile. They are still very easy to play through. They won last night, but the jury's still out on Ralph Ragnick.
You're spot on. Of course, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't like coming off at all in that one.
Was so bad.
He didn't like it, but the truth of the matter is that once they went 2-1 up, I thought Ralph's mind must have gone to the Villa game when they let the 2-goal sleep rather, and he wanted to sort of make the team more compact in midfield, brought on an extra body in that area, and just make it difficult for Brentford to mount another attack and maybe get back into the game and make it a nervy end to the game. So once they got the third goal through Rashford, you saw that they had that security. Even though Brentford scored one back through Ivan Toney, the result was already guaranteed and the 3 points secured. So for me, it was a right call, whether Ronaldo liked it or not. But again, when you do stuff like that in front of the cameras, it has the potential to undermine the authority of the manager. And maybe other players may think that they have the right to do it when he takes them off. A manager reserves the right to decide at any point in time who should be on the pitch and who should be on the bench. And players openly questioning that can undermine the team and have negative...
All right. All right, Bada, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the program. Hopefully next week, Thursday, we'll get to see you again and still celebrate more of the Super Eagles.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's leave the EPL and quickly go to the Nigeria Professional Football League, where Rivers United are now top of the table. That's because Remo Stars are playing today, so they're just a point up ahead of Remo Stars. So the game in Lagos between MFM and, of course, Rivers United ended 3-1 in favor of the visitors. Other games of the day, Niger Tornadoes and Shooting Stars. Shooting Stars, yes, they've lost the game. 3-match ultimatum, right? One is gone. This is the second one. One more to see what's going to happen to the technical crew.
Fingers crossed.
Sunshine Stars and Gobe United ended 2-0. MFM and Rivers United will come back to that game later, 3-1. Katsina and Lobby Stars ended goalless. No goal was produced in that one. Dakada couldn't win in Benin. They lost to Wiki Tourists by a lone goal. And Plateau United and Nasarawa United, that's a thriller. 3-2. Plateau United surely scoring goals at home. All right,
Yeah,
let's start off with...
scoring 5 in the previous one.
And now 3.
Again.
And now that's 8 goals in 2 games.
All right, guys.
The good news is they won both games. Now,
exactly.
This is the game right here. It started with a goal coming from Chijioke. Right in Lagos. Chijioke scoring the first goal in the 35th minute. That was when the first goal came. And MFM, they've had answers for that. And then later, 10 minutes later, you have Ishaq Rafiu scoring the second goal for the visitors. It was the same Rivers United wedding team at home. And then with 5 minutes left to the end of the game, you have Uche Owunsanya making it 3-0. And that's the goal right there. Uche Owunsanya. Well, what goal?
Wow, what a
well
strike.
Worked.
What a strike. He struck that one beautifully. And the goalkeeper had no chance whatsoever. MFM, we've said it on the show over and over again, it's been a bad start for them. And when we found out Rivers were coming into town, we knew they had their work cut out. And it panned out exactly that way. They weren't in the game at all. It looked like Rivers were going to win right from the blast of the whistle. Yeah. And unfortunately, that's another 3 crucial points dropped for MFM. And they're carrying on with this kind of fun.
Okay. And now, while they were celebrating, before they got into the game, MFM,
this is quite comical.
Oh
my goodness gracious.
Oh, just imagine Andre Ayew is right here. Andre Ayew will be pissed off.
The moral of the story is don't over-celebrate. Because for a game to Cecilia, if the goal is scored, the referee can, can signal kick-off again, restart of the game, and I guess they over-celebrated, and that's why.
And they went on, they were celebrating, happy, 3-0 already, 5 minutes to the end of the game. I'm sure maybe most of them, they know the game against Leicester and Tottenham happened later. Because, 5 minutes to the end of the game, you scored your third goal, and you're celebrating like this. You still have 5 more minutes to play.
Yeah, but Cecilia...
Why they were celebrating? The game restarted. The referee restarted the game. And then what happened? MFM, opportunity. Took advantage of that. Celebration was long. And they saw the guy going. And that's when they started running after the player who was with the ball, Tosin. And Tosin was not going to make any mistake.
I don't know.
Coolly. Well finished. Where's the goalkeeper, Tayo? Right there.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about this one. But for the goal to stand... that means the referee must have signaled for
a restart of the game, right?
For MFM to restart the game, and they were just caught napping. They will have to, luckily for them, it hasn't cost them any points in this one because they were already comfortable. 3-0 up already. So ended up being a consolation for MFM. FC. It's quite funny. That feels like...
happened in 86th minute.
Serious comedy right there.
Comic relief, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. Usually when situations like this, when players are over-celebrating or teams are over-celebrating, you see the referee guy getting them to come back on it's time to kick off. So I don't know whether the referee did that in this case and it was ignored or something. No one knows really. But that's what happened.
That's what happened.
That's how MFM got their controversial consolation goal.
Let's listen to reaction coming from Stalin Eguma because the coach of MFM, he didn't speak as well.
I think we started well and took care of the game in the first half, scored 2 goals, played compactly, and we pressed the opponent, knowing fully well that they will be under pressure, and the pressing also paid for us, and also we knew that we were going to capitalize on long balls, and my defenders were ready to catch them on that. And I believe that the players showed character, especially in second half when MFN came stronger, attacking from all corners. We stood our ground, tried to show some character to ensure that we didn't crave in. And that helped us too. And we now scored the 3rd goal, which was good for us. And I think the goal that was scored against us, well, I don't have anything to say. That's the referee. I think I was surprised to see that ball in the net because the players who scored a goal and the players were celebrating the goal. How come the opponent started and the ball was in the net? But I cannot fault the referee because he is one that is in charge of the game. But I don't want to say that it's over. It is not yet time for a celebration because we have a lot of other teams that are doing well and contenders. So we are taking the matches one after the as they come, match after match.
It's so great. Coming all the way right from day one, I was an MFM player right from day one. So I left MFM from Atlanta to Rivers United. Then came back to come and play against my former team.
Chijioke Akonet was playing against his former team. Stanley Oguma is happy because his team won. I believe if they didn't win this game and that kind of goal happened, he won't be smiling at all.
It would be a lot more, you know, a lot more contentious, you know, but that's not the
said,
case.
Yeah, referee got the right to.
And
yeah, he's in charge
it's
of
on
the game.
them to never celebrate again, so it doesn't cost them in
Anything.
future. All right, let's go on. Still talking about NPFL. Let's go to Jos and tell you the Plateau United were victorious in their match against the Nasarawa United. We talked about it on the show yesterday. It was going to be a very tough one because it's like a derby, you know, and that's how it panned out. But Plateau United were simply sensational in this game. Look at the first goal right there from Sunday. Anthony scored the first goal for Plateau United, and that set them up for a very good game indeed. But just when you thought Nasarawa were going to lay down, nah, that wasn't the case. They came back into that game. Cecilia, they got the equalizer, and it was game on, really. We're still about to see that goal right there. Well-worked move coming from Nasarawa United, and it was finished by Uche. That's his name. Great strike right there. 1-1, game on. And
will happen again.
But the good thing is not Plateau United, like we've seen them in recent weeks now. Yeah. They've been very, very solid at home, and they didn't let that affect them at all.
They went on.
As a matter of fact, they upped the ante and went on to score a second goal, which came from this corner kick. It was a bit of a mess right there for the Nasarawa United defense because they should have cleared their lines.
They should have cleared it.
That should never have gone in. But then Plateau United won't mind at all, took full advantage of it. And that's how the game got to 2-1 in favor of Plateau United. And Cecilia, they went on to score another one before Nasarawa scored from the penalty spot to make it 3-2. That's the third goal right there coming for Plateau United. Same situation as well, so can't clear their lines.
Can't clear their line at all.
And Plateau United taking full advantage of that. Akila JC scored those 2 goals for Plateau United. He's been on fire, especially at home right there in Jos. And this is the move that led to the penalty for Nasarawa United. And the referee rightly pointed to the SWAT, and the player stepped up to score the goal. Turned out to be a consolation.
All right, let's get reaction from the game. 3-2, it ended. Plateau United winning that one.
We are overwhelmed for getting this 3 points. It's not an easy task playing a Nasarawa United with good cohesion. I think we deserve the win because we worked for it.
It's like the win at home syndrome is still existing. Yeah, I thought we would have gone above that in football. Because if you see the attitudes towards the club, it's like we did not even. It was not actually the game that was played. It was just a mere fight and quarrels and so on. Just a physical kind of football anyway.
All right, let's go quickly to the Nigerian Women's Football League Premiership, or the games that were played. 7 games are played on match day 5. So we're taking a look at those games that were played. 7 goals were actually scored. And then you're having about 3 goalless games. Okay, that wasn't a good one. All right, let's start with Group A, where you have Pelican Stars and Edo Queens. Edo Queens went away from home to win by a lone goal. Confluence Queens and Niger Rattles, these 2 teams they know how to score goals, but none of them could produce anyone, and then goalless, they cancel each other out. Nasarawa Masons and Adamawa Queens, that's the highest scoreline of the day, 4-0. And you move over to Group B, where you have Royal Queens recording their first win of the season against Sunshine Queens 2-0. The game between FC Robo and Delta Queens in Lagos was abandoned. It was goalless at the time it was stopped, but NPFL says they will, the reports will definitely come up. Maybe later today, we'll see the outcome of that one. Abia Angels and Bayelsa Queens also ended goalless. Let's quickly take a look at the game between Edo Queens and, of course, Pelican Stars. Edo Queens, for them, they remain unbeaten so far this season.
Yes, so good win. Ended by a lone goal. Cecilia, it's a fantastic win whenever you go to Calabar to take on Pelican Stars. I know Pelican Stars are not the Pelican Stars.
They haven't yet to win this season.
Yeah, so but it's still, I mean, there's still a tricky customer to face any day. But that's how Edo Queens got the one goal, and it was enough for them to secure 3 wins, 3 points in this game. Cecilia, Edo Queens are looking good.
Yeah, really looking good. I mean, beating Sule at 66th minute goal was just all they needed to win away from home. We talked about their away from how good they can be when they're playing away from home. So far this season, they haven't won a game, playing against a team that needed this win more than them, because Pelican Stars haven't won a game this season. So let's just take reactions coming from the game.
My girls didn't live up to expectation. That is what I should say. I only came in for a rescue mission. It is what I saw on ground that I use. If I was in charge, or I started from the beginning, I think I would see all these things. When I came in, I've seen that I say, let me just manage with what I see. At least it's even better, because when they started, they start 4-0, 3-0. So bad, there will be changes.
They fight well, and they show a standard as a standard team, because it's not easy to play. When you're playing with a team that is not playing your pattern, you just have to calm down and watch them. You see the game came at the second half, because the first half they were just trying to study the opponent.
Yeah, that's it. The Queens right there. They've dropped just 2 points from a possible 9. So it's been 2 draws this season and 3 wins. So that's a good way to start the season. So let's quickly leave Edo Queens and talk about what happened in Lagos. It ended goalless, but that game was abandoned. I mean, I can't remember the last time if it ever happened where FC Robo is playing against any team at all in Lagos and then they won't finish the game. But that game, the end of the day, ended goalless. So we'll wait for NWFL to tell us what's going to happen in this one. But let's just listen to the coaches, what they had to say, because there was really not much talking points in the game. We're waiting for goals, but it just didn't happen. But then the game did not end.
We knew the game was going to be tough. So when we came here, we tried and win. But since we couldn't get a win, the draw is okay for us. We are very sure now, very comfortable to make the Super 6. That is exactly our mission for now. I'm not satisfied with the attitude of the fan, but I can tell you I'm satisfied with the attitude of the referee, because if there's not much security in the field, there's a tendency that the referee will be a little bit scared. So that was exactly what happened. Though she gave her best, she tried.
You can't win all the time. It's one of those things. You win some, you draw some, you play, you don't lose at all. It was one of those things. The chance didn't just come. The chances just come. Not that they are a good side, but today the chances don't come. Maybe because of the absence of some players. It's like that. You need to just keep working, encouraging them. You cannot win all the time.
All right. I mean, the coaches obviously are not too happy that it was a draw. So we'll wait for reports from the NWFL to know what's going to happen. But from the pictures the picture we've seen so far, really no much ugly incidents. Maybe.
Yeah, but you heard the coach for the Delta Queens coach talked about the fans.
The fans kind of threatening the referee.
He mentioned the fan. He actually gave credit to the referee for doing a good job as well. So, but we're not going to speculate. We'll just wait and see what comes out of this from the table of the NWFL. So that's it for football for now. Yeah, it's been a feast of football, like right from the start of the show till now. So it's time to just take a breather from football. Let's go down under and give you updates coming from the first major of the year. 13 games.
13 games played. So many. You run through it. But then the biggest game for us is because of those guys who were putting on numbers. I see they were going out of fashion. For a night, you lost count of who's going to be your top performance. Who's going to be in it? Let's start with Joel Embiid.
I had to leave out a lot of players. I had to leave out a lot of players. So those are the results for you in the NBA. We know not enough time to go through one by one. But that's it. The Sun Sixers victories are for them. The Wizards, as well as the Atlanta Hawks. The Hornets were also victorious, as well as the Milwaukee Bucks. The Dallas Mavericks won on the day as well. the San Antonio Spurs, the Utah Jazz. Now, they lost against the Houston Rockets, which is a bit of a surprise. The Nuggets were simply amazing. They defeated the Clippers from LA, while there were also wins for the Pistons and the Pacers. The Pacers beating the LA Lakers. Top performance, Cecilia DeMar DeRozan, 32-7. And they were victorious. That's the Chicago Bulls. Let's move on quickly to Joel Embiid, the performer.
How many minutes? 50 points in how many minutes?
In 27 minutes.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense. That's his career high, by the way. And take about wherever you are, Joel Embiid. That's LeBron James with another losing effort, unfortunately.
They can streak together.
Yeah, too bad for the Lakers. So inconsistent. 49 points, triple-double coming from the Joker. He's no joke.
Another ridiculous performance.
He's no joke. Sadiq B for the Pistons, 37 and 3 for the Pistons in their surprise victory over the Sacramento Kings. Trae Young, last but not the least, 37-5 and 14 for the Hawks in their victory over the Timberwolves.
All right, that's it for the NBA. Quickly, we just have 1 minute to take a look at the papers. Eagles, so super. Yeah, that's from Sporting Sun. Eagles, so super.
All right,
100% record. That's the only team in this AFCON that won all 3 games.
Yeah.
There should be a trophy for that.
Now, fortunately, there's no trophy for that. There's only one trophy, and that's for the winner at the end of the competition. Let's quickly go to
Complete Sports.
The Nation.
Sporting Life.
Sporting Life. All right, the Nation Sporting Life. Let's go to that one. And it's all about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Gonvoy said the Super Eagles are super. Indeed, to meet Malawi on Sunday. All right, there's also Pogba declaring intention to join Real Madrid. Is back in training now, and we'll see how that one pans out over the summer. Ekong and Didi Moses shine. Umar flops. I think that's a bit harsh. He had a difficult game. He got a goal eventually, so I think we should cut him some slack. All right there. And, okay, Pharaohs also advanced to the round of 16.
Do we have time? Do you have time for maybe one or two tweets? Seedorf says, winning our 3 matches shouldn't make... Let me take some tweets right now before we leave the show. Seedorf says, winning our 3 matches shouldn't make our boys feel they are there already. Go Super Eagles. And also, this one coming from Sunny Peter. This one says, I am beginning to love Moses Simon, great baller. I'm happy for the Super Eagles team, but some guys were really not up to the task. Well, thank you so much for being part of the program. I'm going to leave the studio now. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Do have a fantastic day.
And I am Tayo Salam.